So how do you think that the current generation of today, the millennials or Gen X, Gen Y, how do you think they can take inspiration from mythology to improve their love life, sex life?
It's a very good question, and I think mythology has, as I said, is the foundation of every society, has everything for everybody, for every stage of life, and specifically for young people who are in their formative years, teenagers and young adults, and the millennials and Gen Zs and all that. And it's sad that they are disconnected from our Indian mythologies for various reasons. One could be that the religious takeover of mythologies is so much that they have stopped believing in the true wisdom that it really gives them. It's all covered up with this religious layer which is there on mythology. But when they peel through those layers, they will truly realize that the actual mythological stories are written to guide people at this age the most, right? So, and the science also proves that in current times, the psychologists, the research that comes out that there are three kind of lovers that exist in the world, okay? And those three kind of lovers are also presented in our mythologies. How many gods we have? Three. Right? The top gods are three. There's Brahma, there's Shiva, and there's Vishnu.
Right.
And there are three kind of lovers which is there, which has come down from the scientific research. Now, which kind of a lover are you? What kind of a lover you should be with to form a healthy relationship?
Wow.
And what kind of a lover you might form a toxic relationship with, and are you in one right now, right? These are the questions young people want to know, they want to ask, right? And eventually those relationships define your sexual life also, how happy you are as well. Now, mythology provides a great insight into this, right? So, as per mythology, if you look at Shiva as a lover, if you are a Shiva lover type, I would say, right? And if you try to combine Shiva with Lakshmi, do you think it's going to be a stable relationship? Right? He is a completely aloof, non-materialistic, right, guy who is in the mountains. Lakshmi is this stable, docile woman. If Shiva goes to the mountain, Lakshmi won't even go and look for him for thousands of years, because she'll be like, okay, maybe he wants to do this. But then it will lead to a long distance relationship which will eventually fall out, right? But that's why Sati, who is this passionate, right, woman, aggressive woman, that Shiva doesn't even dare to step out of the house. And at the same time, their sexual life is extremely great, and their love is really, really so much that he doesn't even need to go out to the mountains or meditate, right? So, and even if he goes out, right, he knows that he has to come back. So, she provides that balance to this vagabond man which is there, right? So, if there are those young millennials who are travelers and on the bike they are going and all that, they might need a woman who is as fierce and powerful to bring them back. But if they have a Lakshmi, their relationship will wither away over the period of time. So, this is one example of how women and men can look at mythologies and draw these symbolisms, and these characters are refined over thousands of years. So, their value systems and their personality types are very well defined. Okay. Now, similarly, if you look at look at Vishnu, okay. Now, there are many couples and many young people who wants to have a stable relationship, right? I've done my MBA, I've done my engineering, I've done my IIT and all that. I'm getting married. My next plan is to buy a house. The house costs certain amount of money. My salary cannot afford it. What will a guy who has a vision like that? The guy is Vishnu. He has a management plan, right? What does a Vishnu need as per our mythology? Is a woman with resource, that is Lakshmi, right? So, he wants to buy a house. So, what he does it? He looks for a woman who is already employed and double salary, and they build a house, right? So, their whole life becomes this management of life, the typical image of Vishnu and Lakshmi, which we see a lot now in our corporate culture as well, right? And then you have these Brahma and Saraswati types, right, who are constantly fighting, then they are moving away, then they are fighting, then they are moving away, then they are fighting, they are moving away, right? Now, through their interaction, obviously in the mythologies comes out this great wisdom, which they learn from each other's conflict, as well, right? But that happens because they are both thinkers, right? They are intelligent people, right?
So what is that wisdom?
So Vedas, right? Brahma wrote Vedas, which became the foundational stone for our culture, right? And he wrote the Vedas when he was married to Saraswati. So through that union with Saraswati, and that's why Saraswati is called that. The name Saras and Vati, Vati is voice and Saras is Mitha, right? So Saraswati is the name of the wife who speaks beautiful, and Brahma, Brahm, the ultimate self, right? So it's very intellectual space. So we talk about sapiosexuality and sapiosexual and all that, and we have that in mythology.
Lovely.
Brahma and Saraswati represent sapiosexuality. So there are many ways of you can look at our mythologies, and they will provide you immediate ideal and examples to follow and look at what kind of relationship you want to be. Now Brahma cannot be with Sati. You know, he will run away because he does not have the Shiva's power to hold Sati.
Oh.
So that relationship will become a toxic relationship.
Okay, I think this is where discord of relationships come from. So yes, taking a cue from what you have said so far, it is like people can actually look to those these archetypes and the mythological figures to see
Yes.
how their persona matches, you know, one of these, and maybe then take a choice accordingly.
Yeah, this is mythologies is a lighthouse
Yeah.
for the world and for the mind also. You know?
Thank you for enlightening our users, Sandeep. This is something that I could say is a treasure trove of, you know, knowledge that I have never heard so far, because our school textbooks don't primarily talk about at least these aspects. Maybe again due to certain reasons. But yeah, thank you for.
Thank you for having me, Pallavi.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.